Welcome to Salesforce for Recruitment. Today, this is a three-way partnership between Cloud Orca, ourselves. We are a gold Salesforce consulting partner, obviously Salesforce themselves as the product, and Natterbox, who produce CTI solutions for Salesforce. So today we're going to be showcasing how recruitment companies can use Salesforce to manage their full end-to-end business processes. Tiny bit about Cloud Orca here. So we work the whole way across the world. We are experts within various different cloud-based solutions and have proud ethics, and our core values can be found on our website. We held a multitude of Salesforce certifications, right the way through from product certifications such as Sales Cloud Service Marketing, all the way through to application and system architect certifications. We're incredibly proud to hold over 50 across 20 different certifications. You can see we've delivered a lot of different projects over the last year, and we hold a high App Exchange and CSAT rating, which anyone can find on the Salesforce App Exchange website. We do work a lot within the recruitment industry, and here's a little comment from one of our clients a few months ago where we implemented a recruitment solution similar to what we're going to be showcasing today. So the webinar today, we are going to be showing some traditional Salesforce lead management through to customer and contract lifecycle. We're then going to be going into more specific recruitment-based functionality, including managing roles, candidate management, CV management, searching capabilities throughout Salesforce, and then invoicing and payments before showing some reporting and dashboards. So going over MI before handing over to the team at Natterbox to show you how you can integrate your telephone system with inside of Salesforce. So hopefully everyone can still see my screen, and we are now logged in to Salesforce homepage. Now everything right from the word go here can be fully customized to the individual business. So you can come in and have a home page that resonates with your business and what you do. And you can see, for example, here what we've got straight away. I'm looking at all of my active roles that I'm currently recruiting for up at the top of the page. On the right-hand side, I can see all the different activities that the business has undertaken, including how many phone calls, emails, meetings, and tasks have occurred. Scrolling down, I can see the different items that I have to approve. So we'll go into this a little bit later. So any contracts that I might have, any tasks that I might have coming up today. Here you can see I've got a follow-up task, or I might have some overdue tasks here that I can scroll through. I could go and see my delegated tasks that I've given to other people. So it gives me a quick overview of what I'm doing throughout the day. We can produce various metrics that we'll come to at the end. And including going down here, you can see the different key deals and opportunities that we're working on, including any records that we've recently viewed. So right from the start, this can be fully customized and personalized to the company, but also the individual profile as well. So whether you're a manager or whether you are a recruitment consultant. One point of note before we go on through this org, every single thing that has been created has been used Salesforce point and click functionality. So there's not a single line of code that exists in this. It's all point and click, or in various instances, we have installed a free App Exchange app. So all of this is out of the box Salesforce point and click functionality. So like I said, we're going to start our journey on leads today. So here we are. So here's a lead, and the lead, for those of you that don't know, is a prerequisite to being an account, so a company, a contact, and a potential sales opportunity. So it's pre-qualification within the system, allowing you to connect it through to marketing, through to website, through to email, which we'll see in a second, to filter the data in to allow you to properly qualify data before it gets to the next stage within the system. So here I can view all of my open leads in a single view. And I'm just going to switch a view today to go to my today's leads view. And here you can see there's nothing in here. So this is leads that might have come into the business today. And I'm going to switch to Outlook. And now myself as a recruitment consultant in this role, my name within Salesforce is Peter. This potential lead has just emailed me, Ed Rowland from Cloud Orca, And you can see he sent an email and it's come straight into my Outlook, and it says, we're just emailing for a new managing director role coming up. It'd be great how we can discuss and work on this together. Now, on the right-hand side here, I've got Salesforce email pane. This is the out-of-the-box Salesforce for Outlook plugin. The same functionality for those of you that have Gmail would also be available. Here now I can go in and straight from my email, I can go and add a new lead. And you can see it's picked up some of the details like the person's first name, the last name, their email address. And now I can just go from my email and I can copy and paste details straight from the email over into the lead pane on the right-hand side, including all of the different contact details. And I'm going to put in here the company, or you can put in the website, and put in the person's job title, and I'm also going to put in the address. So you can see here all of this is really easily populated straight from my Outlook pane. So I can go in, choose it as a hot lead. I can say lead source. It came from an inbound email. And here I just type City of London. Now I'll save that. And now what that's done is that would have created here a lead within inside of my Salesforce system. So now if I go to my today's leads up here, and I'm going to refresh my page, what you'll see here is here now the lead that we have just created in Outlook has now appeared. So I can do that right from Outlook, or it can become from the website or any other entry point that you've got. So I'm going to click onto the lead here, okay, and now straight away I have got all of the information that was inside of Outlook has populated straight in here, including all of the contact details, address information, the company, the title, and now there's other areas that I can start to fill in, which we're going to do in a second. On the right-hand side here, you'll be able to see LinkedIn. We have used the free LinkedIn component, so Sales Navigator. For this instance, you need a Sales Navigator team license. But from within inside of Salesforce, I now have the ability to go in to message people through Sales Nav, to connect to people, go in, save people as leads within inside of Sales Navigator, and some of the information as well will sync back depending on the version of LinkedIn that you have. So there's various different versions you can have to update details if you so wish. So I can see straight away any other details like I've got. For example, here I can see Cloud Orca have 18 employees. So now I can go in and use the details in here to fill in the different information on the Salesforce record. I can go in and populate other things. So for example, their industry, I can apply a score, which can then, you'll see up the top, will show me like some stars up in here. So that's an overview of then we can capture information automatically straight from something like LinkedIn, from Outlook, or we could manually do it as I've just shown you there. Over on the right-hand side, as well as you've got LinkedIn, I've got access to activity. Now, the activity pane is where we can do various sales-related activities. So, schedule, for example, follow-up calls, and give it a date. So here, this would come in my to-do list of tasks to do. Here you can see it's upcoming. I can go in and log in phone calls, and this is a manual phone call. So called and left message, which I'm sure Natterbox will be showing later on, how we can automatically log calls. This, if it's synced with Outlook, it would show that we have any meetings coming up or any previous meetings that we may have had in the past. And as well as before here, I'll just send an email from within inside of Salesforce. If we've either sent an email or we've logged an email, which we should have done from Outlook before the error occurred, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to see all of the different emails logged against that particular lead, whether it's automatic or manually logged, and whether that's been sent from Outlook or Gmail, or it's been sent from within inside of Salesforce. There's ability as well to have communication internally around specific Salesforce records. Everywhere through Salesforce, there's something what's called Chatter, and it's an internal collaboration tool where we can discuss and share information about the particular record. Similar to social media, where I have the ability to go in and tag in other members, other colleagues that I work with. So for example, here I could tag Egon and say, take a look at this new lead, okay, and then I can then share with my colleague, and you'll get a notification through that, and then you can then collaborate back and forth in the Salesforce record. And you can see here that there's just a little message to say that my colleague is typing in here, And this is something then that you can do from either the desktop, or this functionality is purely available as well on a mobile. So you can have it on a mobile, you can have it on the desktop, you can talk back and forth. It gives me the ability, especially during remote working, to keep comms up within here. And again, like, we can go in and tag people. We can even add in things like emojis, GIFs, images in here, etc. And here you can see just a simple conversation that's gone around the lead. So as well as filling in the details, you can have a lead process, which most businesses would have, which is displayed up the top in the form of a linear path. So I can go through the various stages within a lead, and this is important for both automation and reporting to show where you are in particular stages. So here we can go in and I could close the lead and say it's not converted and select a reason why. I say, okay, it's not of interest. You might be a specialist recruitment company that only goes within specific verticals, so you might be able to then mark it off as being a particular, not within your vertical, and that becomes a reportable metric. Within this instance, though, we're going to take the lead, and here we've had some phone calls, we may have had a remote meeting, we've sent some emails, and we're at the stage now where we can take the lead and we can convert it to the next stage. So we're going to convert it, and in one fell swoop, what we're going to do is we're going to create an account, which is a company, a contact, which is a person, and an opportunity, which is going to be our sale, if you like. So this is the deal to get the business for the potential role, which will form the second part of the demo. So in one fell swoop, in one button, we have converted that lead through a qualification process that can be unique to your business, right the way through to a company, to a contact, and to an opportunity. And we're going to go in and cover all of them now. So we're just going to click through and start on the account. So the account is the business. This is the company that you've gone to. It's an area where you would collect all details about the company. So here you can see we've got LinkedIn on the right-hand side showing the company information in there. And it allows us to go in and fill out other information that is specific to the company. So for example, in here, who the recruiting manager is, and I can populate them here. And now I get my little recruiting manager card that can pop up the top. It gives us other areas of functionality as well. We can go in and link into Twitter. So here you can see I can go in and link into the company's Twitter account, and then you will see if you have any people in common in terms of who you follow. So linking in social media, it puts the logo at the top as well, which will follow the company the whole way through. Now we can go in and add in more specific company related details, such as the type of company. So in this instance, this is a client that we're actively recruiting for. We might have other variables in here. So people you're not recruiting, ex-client, partner, all of these details and all of the data in here is fully customizable. We can go in and tag things such as last meeting date, last activity date, call about new role, and we can add things like next steps in. And again, this becomes something reportable and automated, where you can highlight companies that you have had no contact with within a period of time. And you can fill out other information as well, such as the ownership. Here you can see we give it obviously an account score. You can have something like an annual revenue field, anything that you guys would need to have a reportable and something that would enable you to automate through outside in Salesforce. You can see we've got company's house details in here, and I've left these blank on purpose because we have, again, this is completely free functionality. We've installed from the App Exchange a little company's house app where you click a button. Here we can pick up the company name. In this instance, it's Cloud Orca Limited. Now we can go through and search company's house register. And in here, we can go in and click all of the information that would be on company's house, including a company number, status, type. If we wanted to, we could change the address if we wanted to, SIC code, company created, jurisdiction. Now, if we save that, what you'll see is in here in the company's house information, it's now pre-populated everything in there for us. And again, this becomes something reportable. Is the company active? When was the company formed, etc. It also has the ability, if I click into the finance thing here, to go in and have a look at the zero accounts, and it also brings in the company's house filing history that relates to that specific company. So again, that's a free app that we just installed. You can get that from the App Exchange. It just shows you that you can expand the areas of Salesforce beyond its native functionality really easily. Related to the account, and everywhere in Salesforce, it has something called a 360-degree view of data. So what we've done to achieve this is just very simply some tabs that we can go in and have a look at all of the different objects that relate to this specific company, whether it's going to be the individual. And here, if we click into the individual, this is the contact from the lead that was converted originally. And we now have the ability to go in and fill in information about that contact. So that might be birth date, that might be the department, they might report to someone specific, so you could record a hierarchy within here, which might be important for your consultants, such as relationship status, and if you want to put in any social media handles such as Twitter, LinkedIn, Insta, something like that, again, sort of personalize it for around that individual as well. Going back to the company, so that was the contact. Here is the sale, which we're going to go into a second, which you'll see again that 360-degree view, linking anything in. The hiring information, that forms the second part of the demo that we're going to be showing, again, all around the specific roles that you might be hiring for. Finance, so whether it's Xero and invoices that we'll come to, or any notes and files. And again, here you can see that was the image that we uploaded to the chatter post earlier. So if you've got any company documentation, if you're doing any NDAs, you could store them against the company. Finally here, before we move on, you can see over on the right-hand side, all of that sales activity that we had with the lead has mapped over, and it's mapped over to the contact and also to the company within that, whether it's a meeting, whether it's tasks, emails, or calls. Here I've got the full list that connects to not only the account, but also the contact that relates to that account as well. So everything is interlinked, again, all being reportable, a really important metric, because we want to see how many calls, how many emails, how many meetings, activity dates, how active the recruitment consultants from our business have been. So we're going to go now into the sales. So this is essentially an opportunity for a potential role that we might be getting from within this company. If you remember back to the email, it was around a role for marketing director. And we've got quite a structured process that we would follow from within this. So first of all, we're in the qualification stage. We then would move forward to the pitch stage, and just take note of the probability that we think that this deal is going to go ahead, and the probability sat at 10%. If we move the opportunity forward to pitch, you can see it's gone up and it's gone to 25%. So as we move the opportunity through the pipeline and through the stages, the probability of that will then increase, and you can have that lockdown, or you can have it where manually you can go in and amend that. So here we can go in and fill out now sales specific information that we have for this particular role. So in this instance, it's going to be a one-off position. If you want, you can populate with things like description. Have we got exclusivity of the role? And if so, okay, when till? In this instance, we've got it until exclusivity until the end of the month, for example. So we can go in and put in relevant details around the exclusivity arrangements. We could go in and say, okay, well, what do we think the total contract value is worth, for example, if you're recruiting more than one position, or it's for a variety of positions, or a contract that you are agreeing with them. Go in and put in things like contract term, and even the role details that we had before. So this instance was for marketing director. The position type was permanent, and again here I can go in and select, is it temporary, contract, and maternity? In this instance it's permanent, and how many positions are available. At the bottom, here's the inbound email source that you saw, and again we can track this back and report. And if you remember, we selected that in Outlook, so that follows the whole way through, again becoming a reportable metric. So I'm going to save that. And now again, I can move this opportunity on until the next stage. You can see now we're in the negotiation review stage. It's popped my probability up to 60%, and the expected weighted revenue is 12 grand of my total contract value, which is 20. And at this stage, I might need to bring other people in to the deal. One of the recruitment consultants who's undertaking this deal might want to bring their manager in, or vice versa. Managing director who's managing this deal might want to bring someone in to help them. So you have the notion of what is referred to as team selling. And here we can go in and select different roles, and these roles are customizable completely. So you could choose pretty much anything that you want. And we can go and select various people that are going to be working on this particular opportunity. And we've assigned a team, and this will then affect the permissions that are revolved around this opportunity. So whether it's editing the record, whether it's updating it, posting on Chatter, like the internal communication tool. So it brings that out. And again, going back to the sort of reportable part of it, which we always go on about because it's key for a lot of businesses, and it enables team selling reports as well. So we're in the negotiation phase, and now we're going to move into the contract preparation. And you can see it's given us an error, because what it said is that in order to go to the next phase, some information is missing. So there's contract start date, end date, and commission percentage are missing. So this is really important. So if you're trying to collect information as you go throughout the journey, you can force the users, by using what Salesforce refer to as a validation rule, to allow that information to be inputted. So here we can go in and we can put that we're going to go in and start the contract, and it's going to be, I think we had a 6-month contract, so we can put in start date and end date, and including a commission percentage that we might be getting for this particular opportunity or role. So now we've filled those in, what should happen is, if I now mark the stage as complete, you can see the stages changed successfully. And then over on the right hand side here, the contracts which previously said 0 has now been populated for us. So we've created a contract that we're going to use to manage this particular opportunity. So you might have someone junior that's running this opportunity, but before the deal is closed, they want management approval to be able to go ahead with the deal and sign the contract. So this is the contract then that relates to the opportunity. So here you can see the opportunity which we were on before, and this is a contract. So again, it brings other areas into the business that you may not have thought of, such as automations and reporting around values such as contract end date. So everything in here has been pre-populated. So I haven't had to do anything. Okay, everything has been populated, including the company, the contract start date and end date. And if you remember just a second ago, back to that validation, we were forcing the user to put that in, because then it means that then they don't have to duplicate the entry going into the contract. So I'm here as a junior recruitment consultant, and I'm preparing this contract, and there might be some special terms on it, such as, I don't know, we might have a special clawback, for example, or rebate in there. So if you've got any terms that you might want to put where you need your manager to approve it, here you can put it in with inside of the contract. And then again, using standard Salesforce functionality, we can submit this contract for approval. I say, hi, Peter, please approve my contract. And if I submit this for approval, what will happen is I can now choose who it's going to. And in this instance, I'm going to choose the managing director, who happens to be myself on this for ease of the demo. But you can also automatically send it to line managers, or automatically send it to a group of people as well. So we've done that, and you can see it's automatically moved the record into an approval. Up in the right hand corner here, I've got a notification, and this can also be managed through your mobile phone. And here I can see the contract, and here's a comment from the consultant: please approve my contract. I can go in here and see the special terms that have been put in, the contract duration, and any other information that you would like to see. I now have the ability to either reject it, which means that the deal can't go ahead, or in this instance, I can say good work and approve that contract. So going back where we were before, what you'll see is the contract's now activated, and it's in this instance, and we're not going to show this, and for those of you that would like to see it, we have a webinar on sales on our YouTube channel, but you can integrate things such as e-sign. So here we've got a hello sign button, so you could upload a PDF, Word document, whatever you wanted to do, push a button and send it to the customer for signing. And then it would sit in this record and sit against their customer record as well. So you can leverage e-sign from within this. And for those of you that want to see, we've got that on YouTube, or again, just go to the Salesforce App Exchange and you'll see all of the different apps that can be used for e-sign: DocuSign, HelloSign, Adobe Sign, some well-known ones. So if we now go back to the opportunity that relates to that contract, it will allow us now, where there was previously a rule to say you can't move it to contract sent unless there is a contract in place, that now frees it up to allow us to move forward to that stage. So finally, before we go ahead and sort of close out the sale, I want to just show you the life cycle part of the opportunity. So everything behind the scenes is being tracked. So all of our stages are being timestamped. So here, just hovering over, we might have something that is sitting in a stage for a particular time, and we've gone through this new deal on the demo, so it's only been there for a day. But if you've had something that's been in for a particular amount of time, you have the ability to then again report and automate. So a real common one is if you've had a deal that's been stuck in the contract sent stage for more than 7 days, let's create an email alert and a task for the opportunity team or for the opportunity owner to then pick that deal up, maybe engage with a client and get them to sign and close that deal so we can start working on the role, as an example. So we can use those sort of values, not just reporting, but for some automations as well, to keep the sales process moving along. So over on the right hand side here, you can see everything that's related to the opportunity that we've been going through, the individual, the recruiting manager, the team that we spoke about, the contract that we created, the files that came over before, the history tracking. You can see that there's a role object that we're going to be looking at, and that role is empty because we're going to automatically create that role, or plural roles if you were recruiting for more than one, straight from the opportunity being close one. So here we're going to go in and we're going to close the opportunity, and you have the ability to either lose it, so essentially you're omitting it from any forecast, or here we're just going to close win the opportunity. Now upon close winning it, what you can see is automatically it has created a role that relates to that opportunity. So you might have a managing director, or you might have another person within the business who's going off and doing the deals with the companies to get the specific roles and then handing them off to recruitment consultants. You don't need to then automatically create the role or roles. You don't need to manually create those, sorry. They should automatically be created through just a simple process here that has now created the role, which we're going to click into and talk about the process. So this is everything that we'd manage about the specific role that we are recruiting for. Just scrolling down onto the page, straight away, the first thing that you can see is a lot of the details have been pre-populated. We're not fans of data duplication. So we always make sure that data is only entered into the system once. Whether you've entered it in the lead, whether you've entered it in the company, the contact, or the opportunity, or even the contract, everything that we've worked through to thus far should allow us to take that data and then to use that data for the role. So here you can see things like who the hiring manager is that you watched us populate earlier, the company that it's for, the start date, the job title, the salary, the commission, whether we've got exclusivity to the role. So all of that has followed over and mapped across to the role object. So we're going to mark the role as in progress now, because we're going to start to fill in more details. And this is where you can go in and fill out information that's specific for the role. So we filled out information specific to the company and the opportunity, but now we can go in and put role specific information. So such as seniority level. Here we can go in and put like a salary range in here. So we might want to go in and have that, including any bonus. You can see some fields will automatically be populated. Here there's an OTE field, and at the moment it's showing 0, and it said this field's calculated upon save. Watch in a second when we save the record, that will automatically populate of the potential OTE. We can go and link, okay, who's recruiting for this role? We can either manually assign this, or I can automatically assign it if you know, if you have some rules over, for example, people that look after roles from specific seniority levels. You could even put it into a group of people should you wish. We've got then the recruitment consultant commission percentage that they might be working to as well. And then you've got other fields down the bottom here that are pre-populated or pre-calculated. Again, you'll watch this be calculated when I save the record. So things like, just important note around recruitment commission, we work a lot where there can be different scales or tables of commission that you can calculate. Here we've got quite a crude calculation, which is just taking 10% of what the company could make on this, but you could also have a scale based on how much that they've closed within a certain month or within a certain quarter. It could go up or it could go down. So you can have we've built very complex commission structures before. The one we're showing you here is quite simple. So you just take note and peace of mind that you can have a commission calculation that's unique for your business. You don't have to do what we're showing you today. So I'm going to save the record, and what you're going to see when the record's been saved is that now we've got an OTE, and we've also got potential commission that the business is going to make, and now we've got a recruitment consultant commission that they're making. So in this instance, they're making 10%. you see if I just very quickly edit the record and I save it again, their commission will go up. And we'll see in a second how we can use that commission for like a workflow during the day. So we filled out all of the information on the object, and there's other areas that we can take advantage of functionality. Cloud Orca, we're also an app exchange partner as well, so we build Salesforce apps, and we've built one here around mapping records. So I can push a button and refresh my page, and now using just Google Maps, using the Google Map Free API, it will go in and it will geocode the record. And now just scrolling over, I can see that role is being recruited for in London. I can even go by and see all of the different roles that are nearby within there as well. So again, giving you capabilities of Salesforce just from using third-party tools such as from the App Exchange in there. If we go now to the so that's the role. What we're going to do, that's the individual role. What we're going to do now is go to all of the roles to show you how all of that looks like before we come back to this record a little bit later on. So I'm going to go to the roles, and if you remember earlier, we showed you the lead list view, which showed all leads and then today's leads. So that's like your screen that you would work from. And here you can see that I've got a simple list view that's all roles. Okay, so it's showing me everything from within the business. But I might want to see, for example, roles that are closing within the next 2 months. That might be something you want to see, or maybe this week or the next 3 months. It's very easy just to change the time frame. It's a simple statement. Or I might want to see my roles if I'm a recruitment consultant. And here you can see that we've switched the view between what is referred to as a table or as a Kanban. And I have the ability now, rather than updating the records in the role and the status from the actual role itself, I can manage multiple roles. So here I've got a role that's not started. I could just move that into the in progress stage as well. So as a recruitment consultant, and you could have various different stages in this, you don't just have to have these 4, you can have as many as you want. I now have the ability to take my roles and move them throughout the various stages en masse without worrying about going into each one. Another thing to note is that we saw before that we had the commission that I'm going to be achieving for each of the roles on the record, and we can now group that up here. So now I can see that my potential commission that I might be making on filling all of these roles. So I've got 2,500 that is yet to be started here. I've got just over 7,000 sat in progress. You know, I've got 4,000 that is on hold. And you can hide these values from other users so that I would see only the commission that I'm going to make. But now it sort of gives me the ability to maybe prioritize, and you know, we know salespeople are driven by financials. So here, in a really simple summarization, it just shows me where to put my time. So that's showing you switching between the table to the Kanban and summarizing. That can be done anywhere in Salesforce. So you don't just have to do it on roles, you can do it on candidates, you can do it on opportunities, on leads, anywhere. But hopefully this resonates a little bit, showing how you can use the roles and move them throughout the various stages. So linked to the roles, what we obviously need is we need candidates. So we have another object called candidates. And here we can go in and we can see all of our candidates that we have. So this is a list of everyone who we have in our system. But very much like the roles, we can also filter down, for example, and see, okay, who's only active? Okay, and you can see straight away that list shrinks because we don't maybe want to work on anyone who's not currently openly looking. Again, just being efficient and streamlining with our time. So we're going to click into one of the candidate records up here up the top, and this particular record here is for Alethea mold. And obviously all of this data for data protection is all fake. So now we're seeing in here information that only relates to the candidate. So we saw information only relates to the role, and this is information that relates to the candidate. And again, pretty much, or if anything that you've seen, you can customize and tailor to your business very, very easily in terms of the different values that are contained throughout side of the record. So here, just opening up the record, we can see different information that now we can collect about the candidate. So including things like salary expectations. So I'm just going to increase that. We can see something like their CV status here. I know because I can see it on the right hand side that the candidate's got their CV attached, and I can go in and put, okay, this candidate update gave me their CV today. I can change the status to up to date, take note of the little colored icon. And then scrolling down as well, you can put any information that you wish to help you guys report on candidates as well. So down the bottom, we've got metrics, and we have just created some sample metrics in here, such as leadership skills, time management, problem solving, and we've rated them from poor to excellent. But you can have any scoring system that you would want. You may not have this, but if you do have something similar to this, again, what this enables you to do is quickly search for candidates where the companies that you're recruiting for have specific requirements about people they're looking for. We're looking for someone with excellent leadership skills, good time management skills, above average motivation, stuff like that. So you can have any information you want related to the candidate here. So we're just going to save that record. And again, take note of the fact that the CV status flag is orange, and we've changed the salary expectation. So I'm gonna save it here. And straight away, what it's done is it's given me a visual indicator. If we scroll up to the top of the record, we can see it on the card here, which is also available for you on the mobile to see straight away as you're scrolling through on the mobile. Okay, green flag, it means that that candidate's up to date, they're actively looking, and they have a CV attached. Okay, really good quick visual indicator. Over on the right hand side here, what you can see is we're tracking everything that we do in the history. So I changed the salary expectation from 65 to 70, and it's tracked it here, showing me that on this date and on this time here, you can see it's 11:40 on the 8th of October, and we've changed the salary expectation field from 65 to 70,000. And so every single thing that you do in Salesforce is auditable, is trackable. Really important, because if you've got key fields that people that are in there that you're collecting information, if people change them, you want to know who changed it, so that again people can take accountability and management of the data that they're inputting. So we've also got here a list on the right of all of the different roles that we've put forward for, and we will come into this a little bit more in a second in a bit more detail. If I click on Alethea here, just on a little simple view next to her candidate record, and you can see I can just really easily tab back between the two. I can see here that she's applied for 7 different roles, and that she's phone interview 3, first interview at 2, she's applied for 1, and she's been rejected for an operations director role. And again, I can sort these however I want throughout the different statuses. So it tracks everything. So next to that candidate here, I can keep all of the history. So you might have an active candidate that's been rejected 10 times, and we'll come to the rejected part in a bit. But again, it gives you visibility, reporting metrics to show, okay, show me candidates that have applied less than X amount of times. On the candidate record as well, what we hold is we can hold their CV, and you saw here we had the CV status we had when we uploaded it, and we have an automatic checkbox that when this is uploaded, it will say, yep, your CV is attached. So you could run a search in Salesforce for only people that you have a CV attached. Here I'm going to click on this, and this is a fake CV, as you can see, and this is stored as a PDF. You can store it as Word document or an image or whatever you want, but PDFs and Word documents are probably the most common and the best file format for something like CVs. This record here, this file is available for me on not only on desktop, as in on the cloud version, but also on the mobile. So anywhere I'm going, I can just click into it, click into the candidate record, click into the CV, and I can scroll up and down and see the information straight away, still in one place, all kept on that record. So I know that the only area in Salesforce that I hold the word aerospace is on this CV, right? So you can see up the top up here, if we zoom in ever so slightly, you can see I'm a student studying aerospace. So it's just one word that I know that it exists in that CV. So I'm going to click off that CV. So for example, if I want to search for that word inside of Salesforce, so I want to search for aerospace, and I'm going to click enter in here. Okay, what comes up is what we're going to discuss in a second, is about tagging, but also comes up the same CV that you just saw a second ago, so the file. So when you're searching for data within inside of Salesforce, so if I was to search for Alethea, Alethea's record would come up. So it doesn't just search the data, but it also searches the data within the files too, which for a lot of recruitment companies is so much time that we have worked with, because you might have someone that's got a CV in that's put something specific in. You quickly put that in the search term, and it will search not only all of the data that you see here, but also any of the data that lives inside of the documents associated with that as well. So as well as putting in the CV and the information on there, you also have the ability to anywhere in Salesforce tag through what's called as topics. And you can see up here, up at the top, it just says topics 0. And I can now go in and tag the record. So I could go in and say, okay, I'm going to tag Alethea with aerospace, or I'm going to tag her with HTML as an example. Okay, might have HTML skills. And you can just type these in. And now what that does is anywhere that holds that tag becomes reportable and becomes searchable. And actually, all I need to do here is click on the aerospace tag, and now I can go on here and I can see anything that's related to this tag. So I've got 2 candidates and I've got 1 role. So I've tagged a role with aerospace earlier, and now I've gone in and tagged Alethea, and here I can see, okay, great. So now I've got a role and I've got a candidate, okay, because they've both got that tag against them. If I go in and you see click on HTML, only Alethea would hold that. So it just gives you the ability to really quickly give the users to enter in a topic or a tag, which then becomes reportable and searchable. And let's say I accidentally put something in, okay, super easy. I can just remove that HTML tag from there. And you saw when we searched aerospace actually before, not only did Alethea's CV come up here, but also the topic that relates to that came up as well. And I can see all of the records that I've tagged with that particular topic, should the term aerospace not be in there. So it gives you the ability to really quickly find the data that relates to what you're looking for within inside of Salesforce CRM. So finally on this candidate, what I might want to do on here is I might want to be going through these candidates. I'm searching for aerospace tags and I found it. So I've got a little button up here on the top right hand corner, which is just add to call list. So here I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to say, right, I'm going to check that. Okay, and I'm going to add that to my call list. I'm then going to go to my list view. And we spoke a little bit about list views on leads and on roles. And here we're on active candidates. I can just go on my candidates to call list view. And you see Alethea has appeared. And really easily, again, if I want to scroll down in here, I'm going to find 1. I'm going to click on 1. I'm going to go add to my call list. I'm going to add him to it. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to come back to my candidate and go to my call list here. Now you can see I've got 1 in here as well. So I can add these to the call list and then go through them, and probably it's an area that Natterbox can go into as well with you guys about how to effectively work through people that you need to contact and you need to call. But you see, just from clicking a button as I'm searching through the term aerospace, right, add that person to a call list, add that person. Now I've got my list of candidates that I need to call for that particular day. So we've looked at the role. We've seen the information around the role, and now we've got that. Now we've looked at the candidate. We're gonna come full circle, and we're gonna go back to the role that we were recruiting for here. So this is for the marketing director. So from a button up the top, we're going to go in, and I'm actually going to add in here. I'm going to add Alethea, who we had before. So I'm going to search for Alethea. So here she is, Alethea Mold. I'm going to go in and I'm going to put that she's applied and that she's submitted her CV. I think we showed 1 before. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add 1 to this, and again say that he's applied and he's submitted a CV, and save it. And I've got a little Kanban up here. I'm just going to push a button to refresh it. So here you can see both of my candidates now that are in the stage on the role. So here I can see my role and I can see my candidates that relate to that role, and I can just move them along. So for example, if I know that 1's been a phone interview, I can just move him to that. And this is again another example here. This little component is free. We just installed it from the Salesforce App Exchange. So yeah, just going back to the first point, all of this no code and using Salesforce apps that we've installed along the way. So now I can go in and I can click on the different candidates that relate to this specific role. So here, just going back again, we've got Alethea and we've got 1, and here is their information that relates to that specific role that they're currently applied for. The first one that we're going to go into is Juan. Okay, so Juan now is at the phone interview stage, and I can now fill in information that relates only to this specific candidate for this specific role, such as, okay, how much do I expect, what's probability that I expect that he's going to get the position, things like phone interview date, first interview date, second interview date. So you can go in here and populate all of these, and again, this becomes a reportable metric. Something like salary expectation. So I can go back and look if Juan's failed to get 10 different roles, I can go and say, right, every time the expectation for that has always been over, that becomes something you can report on and measure and have some sort of trend analysis to see. You can go back to Juan and say, well, look, you know, all the time you're 10% over what they're asking for on the role. So each candidate then has their own status as they go through this specific application for this role. Remember back to Alethia's candidate record, we could see that she'd applied in first interview. And in this instance, we're going to go in and we're going to reject Juan. So I've got some feedback from the guys at Cloud Orca that Juan's been rejected, and I can go in and mark him as rejected and then put a reason why, not given, not suitable, poor interview, and save. And again, that becomes something that straight away, just in a click of a button, I've marked that he's got a poor interview. That historical information is kept all against his record, and that then gives me the ability to then, when I'm searching for candidates, show me people that have not been rejected for a poor interview or something like that. So all of that information can be utilized where you're recording it through outside of Salesforce. Now I'm on Alethea, the other contact. Again, I can go in and fill out other information here relating to Alethea, such as, okay, her expected salary for the role, the probability that I feel that she might get, any interview dates that she's had in there, and also you can put things in like notes, feedback, basically anything that you want as you go through. And maybe at this stage as well, what's happened is that someone I've met someone else at Cloud Orca who I want to quickly add to the system. So I can go in and just from clicking a button here, I know that Tony DiCarlo, who's head of HR and recruitment, is all of a sudden I get his information. So I can go in and very quickly fill in Tony's information in here. So head of HR, because I've never come across the HR director before. I've always gone through someone maybe a little bit lower down. Now all of a sudden I've got through to head of HR, head of recruitment. I can just go in, add him during that interview process, save that, and now when I go back to the business and I go back to the related contacts, here are the two contacts within that business. Okay, so really easy. We can give you the ability to add in records any stage through the process, because it's all about data capture. The better the data and the easier it is to capture it, the better that your org would be. So now we're on, so that was Alethea, and Alethea is on the first interview. Maybe now she's gone through to the second interview. So I'm going to go back to the role. I'll refresh the Kanban again, and here you can see I've got my two different candidates. I've got one that's in the second interview, Alethea, and I've got one that's been rejected in Juan. And you can have as many as you want in here. So you can have it's not limited to any amount. For the ease of the demo, we've put 2 in. But should you have various, numerous candidates through the process, you can super easily just add them in. So I'd like to just talk about 2 things, just for you guys to take note. So we've got 2 candidates. We've got one in a second interview, one in rejected. The role is currently in progress. And then related to the role, over on the right-hand side here, we actually have something invoicing, which we're going to use to bill the customer should we place someone within this role. I'm going to go back to Alethea's record now that we have. So here's Alethea. It's sat on second interview. I've just got a call from Tony DiCarlo, head of HR at Cloud Orca. Congratulations, Alethea's been accepted for the marketing director role. I can now go in and mark this as accepted, and a little bit of gamification here, and we've got some confetti on the screen, but you can put all different types of celebrations should you wish to apply that through outside of Salesforce, images, everything. It's very cool like that you can go through and gamify the org. But we've marked this to accepted, and what that's done is that now has set off a whole load of chain reactions. Okay, the first one is up in the top right hand corner. You can see we've got a little push notification saying, hey, the role is filled. That comes not only through on Salesforce, but it also comes through on the iOS and Android app. We have it on ours. When something happens, we get a little push notification. We're trying to cut down on emails, so working through the mobile app massively streamline how we work, especially during lockdown, where obviously emails are you get a lot more. So you don't need to do an email notification. Why not do a push notification? Super simple, no code. You just need the Salesforce app to do it. So that's been accepted, and now going back to the role, okay, what you can see is the role's been completed here, and if I refresh my tab, bang, it's an invoice was also created. If I click into that invoice, what it's done is it's the invoice is for 8,800, because remember, going back here, that's what we're making off this specific deal. And I've sent that, we use Xero, okay, but if it's any cloud-based finance system that has API capability, we can just send it an invoice. So we can pick the information up, we can split it into multiple invoices should you wish. For the ease of this, we've just done one, but we do some quite complex billing solutions. So you can even use that and then create that to send across to your billing system. And then we can collect the information from your billing system. Let's say the invoice has been paid, okay, it just marks it, the flag's changed to green, and it's marked it to invoice paid. So it means that against this, if Egon wants his 1,700 that he's making against this specific role, then he needs to make sure that the invoice has been paid. You don't want to give him access to your accounting system, so you just integrate it, and now he can see that invoice has been paid. He knows that he's going to get his commission. So we can use that and connect that in with other systems, such as Xero, QuickBooks, or Sage, some common ones that we would most commonly work with. So that brings an end. And we're going to show just one more thing, but that brings an end to the end-to-end flow. So hopefully that's been really helpful, showing you right from a lead through to converting it to a company, a contact, an opportunity. You're winning the sale, you're winning that deal for that role, looking at how you manage a role or roles, depending on how many that you've got, the different candidates, how you can search throughout that, the information that you can have on the candidates, bringing that full circle, adding the candidates to the role, and then a little bit of automation in terms of push notifications and invoicing. And everything that you've seen in there, all using point and click Salesforce functionality. So just to finish off, what we're going to do before we open it up to any questions, I'm going to create a quick report, because reporting is really key for the businesses that we work with. And I just want to show you how easy it is in literally 1 to 2 minutes. So here I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a report, and I'm going to create a report for job roles, okay? And I'm going to create a report for all roles that have been created, okay, with a date, and I'm going to use what's called relative. So I'm going to just put, okay, next 180 days. So in the next 6 months, I want to see all the roles. In fact, I'm going to go down a little bit less actually, to show you how the data changes the next 90 days. And straight away, I've got less data. So here's all the roles where the start date equals the next 90 days. And now I'm going to start to build my my report out. So I'm going to say, okay, who's the recruitment consultant? What is the potential commission that we might be making on this specific deal? What is the what's the company name? What's the hiring? Who's the hiring manager? And then what's the start date? Okay, so here you can see you can build this report out really easily. I can now start to build a little bit more complexity into this report, such as, okay, I'm going to group it by the different recruitment consultants, and if I drag that up, it creates in here a table for me grouped by the consultant. And you can see it's summarizing all of the commission that us as a business might make from those roles. I can even go in and say, okay, actually show me the average, and now it can go in and I can say, right, Egon, the average that he's going to make me is 20 grand, Peter's 13, Raymond's 25, Winston's 23. So it gives me the average as well as the sum of what they're going to be making, right? No SQL code, SQL queries all needed to build that report. Really simple. And then just to finish, I can go in and say, actually show me here what people are going to be making for me based on and put a little chart in as well. I could change that from a column to a donut to a funnel. Really easy to make. And then once I've done that, I can save that report. and you can save it as a private report. You can save it for everyone within the company. And then it then gives me the ability to go in and do things such as subscribe. So here I can say, send me the report every morning at 9 a.m. Send it to me only on these specific days at 9 a.m. Send it to me monthly. So it will end up in your inbox. We use it a lot with sales related reports. We don't need to go in and refresh them. We don't need to remember to do it. It just appears in our inbox as we're going. And then also I can go in and, should you have the relevant permissions, pull this report off to either Excel or to CSV and use it elsewhere within the business. Again, you can restrict all of those permissions should you wish. And then very, very, very finally, to come full circle on the demo, here you can see that we have on the home page, we have a dashboard. And we've put the data in. We had all the hard work that you watched at the beginning of the demo. We put the data into all of the records. We saved that data. We then built a report on that data, which literally took a minute. You saw how easy it was. And then from within that, we can build the dashboard, and lots of different dashboard components that we've put in here, just to give you an example of a thing that we could do. So here we've got, okay, all of the different role start dates per month and the type of roles that we're recruiting for. Top 5 companies, all the different candidate statuses and where you currently are with all of them. Here we've got a consultant commission leaderboard. Okay, so Raymond's made 5K, Egan's made 4, Winston's made 1.8. So again, and I can take this off as a JPEG, and you can either have that private, public, should you wish to, within the company, how much open commission that I've currently got to make off all of the roles that I'm recruiting for. You can see here, look, average candidate salary, average salary of the roles you're recruiting for, all sorts of stuff, the different candidate qualifications that we've got in here. So you name it, if the data's in there, we can take that data, we can build a report from that data, and then building all of those reports, we can then simply build a dashboard. And the dashboard is so easy to build. So we work with so many businesses, and you saw how busy we've been over the last a year and a half. And all of our companies make all their reports and dashboards themselves. It's so easy to do, and it's a real powerful area of Salesforce. You put the rules and the right data in place, getting the users to put it in. It's easy to build the reports, and then you can build nice visual dashboard from it. So that brings an end to the whole part of our demo. And what we're going to do is we're just going to open up to any questions that we might have. First question is, so how granular can you search for a CV? Okay, it's a really good question, actually. So you guys saw earlier that we just put in aerospace, but there's a few other terms that I know that we have, obviously from building this org. So the other one is, I think, biotech, and you can also do queries too in the search. So I can put in here biotech and sports. Okay. Oh, and here we are. Here's a CV for Luke that's come up. This time it's a Word document in there, so you don't just have to search for one word. You can use and statements and stuff to expand the functionality and the capabilities of the search. So that's the first one, and I can see the second one. Can you integrate financial packages? You have QuickBooks. Yeah, the answer is yes. We covered it a second ago. Exactly. So if you have a cloud-based accounting system, you can really easily just plug it in to Salesforce, building API. And there's also apps and stuff available as well that potentially that you would want to use. We do most of the integrations ourselves, popular ones, QuickBooks Zero and Sage. How easy is it to pick up the basics of Salesforce? Okay, it's a really good question, and for a lot of SMBs, we get asked it all the time. The simple one is up here. You guys will see you would have access to Trailhead, which is online learning. And if I want to build a report, for example, I can go in here and I can learn in under 2 hours how to build reports and dashboards. And like these modules will take you through with videos, with walkthroughs, with questions. They even give you like a dummy Salesforce environment should you wish to start building out. Should you start to go and wish to test reports because you don't want to do them in your actual live org. So it's really, really, really easy to learn about areas of the functionality that you guys can use and expand once you've got an initial Salesforce system set up. So that's going to bring the webinar to a complete close. Thank you for everyone on here. We'll be sending an email around probably the beginning of next week with a recording for everyone that they'll be able to watch. And everyone have a great week and a great weekend. And we look forward to communicating with you guys next week. So thanks all, and speak to everyone later.